Alright, so I finally threw a little bit of Daphnia in there, about 6 individual Daphnia to be exact. And they're in there with the sick guy. We're gonna see if he can find them at all. I think he did just now. Oh, yep, there he goes. Oh, that is so cool to see. So this was something I've been waiting for a long time. I went down there and just saw a whole new group of babies. So I decided to pull a couple of the larger ones in there. And now he knows there's Daphnia in there. He just got another one. Oh yeah, he is just woken up now completely. He's rejuvenated and ready to go. This was like the best idea. He had the least out of everyone, so I have no problem with giving him these few little Daphnia. They weren't the biggest in there, though I saw a few that I think have eggs, but it's so hard to tell because they're so little, that I only could tell because they were just bigger than the others, and I'm like, they might have some eggs, but there's probably some smaller ones in here still, but he definitely got 3 of them. What do you think about that, buddy? Pretty good, right? A little bit different when they're alive. Also, the thing that makes me happy is I also did look this up before I would put them in, just to make myself feel better. Daphnia have simple nervous systems, so unlike fish, they don't really have a pain response. They definitely do like experience that sort of like fear reaction to like a predator, so they will run, which is good for like a betta. Like that was probably about the most exciting thing that could happen to him, honestly, without obviously endangering him. And since this is his first day in this tank, I get the feeling he's pretty happy. He was probably expecting to be put in a little fish bowl, the poor guy. He's like, oh, this isn't too bad. I can get used to this. Oh, the problem with being a stoner. I just stuck my arm in some wax. Awesome. Well, hopefully he's not rubbing too hard on that. If he is, I need to make sure there's no thorns. Okay, he's not rubbing, he's just leaning against it. He's just chilling out in his tree. What a beautiful betta. So yeah, that's something I can look forward to now, is feeding my bettas Daphnia. And that is super rewarding, honestly. That was so fun to see. It's my first time ever getting to feed them to a betta. And I figured why not give him to my sick boy? Just make sure that he's not, I wouldn't call him sick. You can tell from the way he's reacting, and since I just got him today, he has a chance. His fins do look bad, especially that tail fin. I thought that was almost ick at first, but when I look closer, you see that fin is actually dissolving. So that tells me this is a bacterial-based fin rot. So I'm going to basically be doing a multiple pronged attack in the next few days. Basically, I'm gonna, oh, poor guy. He rubbed against that, and I also moved. It probably startled him. But I'll probably be doing less on the salt, because I know that can cause liver problems. And I did give him a good salt dip earlier today. As soon as I got him home, I put him in the salt dip. And though I might not have given him enough, I'm not gonna lie. The reason I say that is because when I put him in there, he reacted not at all. Like, it was as if he was just in fresh water. He was like, oh, let me check out my environment. And of course, he's in a single gallon, so in like the first 10 minutes, he went to like, okay, I'm just gonna chill at the top of the tank here. But no, like, he didn't really seem stressed. His breathing was normal. He just seemed lethargic, like any betta would be in a 1 gallon. So, like, immediately putting him in an established tank was just like, he Yeah, I mean, he's like he is now. Like, he was never unhealthy. I shouldn't say never unhealthy. I've only had him for like 6 hours. But I'm super happy that when I put him in, he's showing these good signs. But you can see the fins look worn. That's not really an ick infection. He looks good. It's just there is very clearly like a bacterial infection. That explains why it's this not uniform tattering, which kind of tells me that if it had a more uniform color to it, that would be fungal. And I will be double checking this after this video, so if you see a comment saying, okay, that's not true, it's actually bacterial and bacterial is uniform, then you know why. But I'm like 90% sure that a bacterial infection is the one that is not uniform. And this is just, like I say, a good sign, because I mean, I wouldn't say my pet store really abuses fish. They just can't really keep up with the overflow. They do their absolute best. I basically know all of them personally at this point because I've been in so many times. So I can say for certain they do everything in their power to help, but there's been multiple times when I go in there and there's only like maybe 2 or 3 people in the whole building. And that's impossible for them to take care of literally 35 bettas. In addition to all the tanks they have as it is, the saltwater tanks that they have. Yes, it's heartbreaking to see a betta go in terrible shape. But that's why I feel like it's on us as owners to just be responsible and like to look up what we're doing. If you see a sick betta, don't be disheartened and feel like when you put them in a tank they're going to die. If you have a good environment for a betta and you know how to take care of them, there is a good chance they will be able to thrive. And I do plan to document him in any way, like if he does pass or anything. I do plan to show this. I want to at least like try and have some recording of this, because I haven't for the last few bettas that I like turned back in. But I don't know, I just feel like this is the nice thing to do. And the reason why I've kind of like started doing this is because of my the first betta I ever got. Actually, I called him Bear, and I think some people might have actually seen him in my first video. And I returned him because of this fin rot that you're seeing. Like, it wasn't anywhere near at this progression, but I turned him in to my local pet store because I really had no choice. I didn't know how to deal with it, and I didn't really have any know-how or experience, and I just figured, well, I'd rather give him to someone who can take care of him. And ultimately he did end up in the hands of someone who could take care of him. But before that, I saw him basically being eaten by tetras in the tank that he was in. I think they were little green tetras or something like that. Either that or they were barbs. I don't think they were barbs. It might be maybe swordtails. I don't know. But it was some nippy fish. And while they aren't known to be aggressive, for a lethargic betta who has long fins, that is super enticing. And sure enough, he was in that tank being eaten, and I just so happened to stumble upon him when he was on his side, buried behind a piece of cholla wood, pretty much dead. At least I thought he was dead when I saw him, and a part of me kind of hoped he was, and when I saw how bad of shape he was in. But then, of course, I saw him twitch, and that was when it was like, no, I can't. That was like the worst moment I like had as a fish keeper. Like, that was... If you aren't a fish keeper and you just stumbled upon this video and you somehow managed to make it this far, to put it into perspective, if you gave your dog for being sick to the vet, like because you straight up didn't have the money and you surrendered them to your local vet or something, and you gave them up, and you're just like, can I see them like regularly? And they're like, yeah, sure. And you go in to see them the next week, after just seeing them like the last day and they were totally fine. And then the next day you walk in and they're being eaten by the dogs and cats in the kennel. Like, that is the best way I can describe it. Like, I actually had an emotional attachment to that fish because he was my first. And I don't know, like, after that I kind of just realized, like, yes, I can just turn them in, and I don't think I really did anything wrong. It was that immediate realization that really only you can control what care you give the creatures you take home. And at the end of the day, I've even had conversations with the people in that store who have seen people take a betta and a bull at the exact same time. And they can't say anything. They are not allowed. And bless their hearts, they wish they could. Like I've literally been talking to a coworker and seen him bite his tongue, and I look over to what he's looking at, and I'm like, no. And I'm like, I can't. And like, they were luckily chill, because I did say to them, excuse me, I don't mean to be rude, but if you're planning to put the betta in that bowl, they aren't going to be a lot of fun. And I just recommended them to get one of the Aqueon like 5.5 gallons, which was like $20, and bless their hearts, they did. So I'm like, okay, that's a win. I can't talk about water conditioner or anything. I might go too far on that, but at least the fish is going to go in a 5.5. Like that is a complete win in my book. So, like, yeah, there's just the little things that you can do, and just knowing, and I don't know, like, I feel like fish keeping is the one that the people sleep on. And yeah, I understand why. They're just fish. But holy crap, the more I get into this hobby, the more I disagree with that mentality. Like, there's so much to them to just learn and watch. So I just hope, I hope over the next few... Oh, yeah, I saw it too, buddy. That was definitely a Daphnia. Or something. But, yeah, I hope to see him grow more. But based off of that eyesight, things are looking good for him.